All right, everyone, this is Michael Coberline coming from Durfee Law Group in Mesa, Arizona. And today I wanted to talk with you about risk tolerance and isolating risk when it comes to your business assets and your personal assets. So, number one, when you think about your business, and let's use a limited liability company or an LLC as an example. If you are if you have a business, let's say you own a barbershop and you have your barbershop in a limited liability company as a single member entity, then you have your barbecue shop or barbershop as an LLC and as a single member entity. And the way that we explain risk, isolating risk, is by using a fence as an analogy. So let's say that we have a fence and we have our dog on the inside of this fence, and the LLC keeps our dog from getting outside of the fence. So anything that happens within this LLC as a single member entity LLC, the risk is going to be isolated to whatever happens within the LLC, and it's not going to get out. So if I have a person who come into my business as a barbershop owner and they slip and fall and they break something and they sue me, then they can take whatever assets I have in my barbershop LLC, but they won't be able to take any of my personal assets. So I am containing the risk in the fence. So my dog stays inside of the fence. Now, what about people outside of the fence? Or what about dogs that are coming, trying to get into my business from the outside of my fence? Can I keep those dogs out? And what I'm referring to with those people are, if I were to, as a barbershop owner, if I were to get in an accident, and let's say that I crash into a bus of dentists and all of them die, and it's my fault, and those the estate or those families of those dentists come after me for my assets, am I going to be able to keep them from getting into my business when they are trying to come after me for my personal assets? And the answer is no. There's no way that you're going to be able to keep this dog from getting into the LLC, or the outside dogs aren't going to be able to be kept from outside of my fence because I don't have the proper structure built in. Now, what do I mean by the proper structure? The single member entity LLC is sufficient to contain risk that happens within the LLC, but it's not sufficient to prevent people from or creditors from coming into the LLC to try and get interest in my barbershop business if something happens outside of my business and they're suing me for my personal assets and also trying to get into my business. The single member entity isn't going to be sufficient. So what are some of the things that you have to do in order to protect your business against yourself? I'll just share briefly with you that the main thing that you want to think about is, do you have multiple members, and is your LLC managed? And if you have multiple members of your LLC and your LLC is manager managed, then just doing that alone is going to give you a lot greater success of keeping this dog right here outside of your LLC. And what I mean by this dog, again, is those creditors that you have personally outside of your business who try to attack and come in to your business and take your assets. Those kinds of creditors can be dealt with much more appropriately if your LLC is a multiple member LLC and it's manager managed. I'm Michael Koberlein with Durfee Law Group, and tune in for the next video to find out more about how a multi-member manager managed LLC can provide the type of protection that you would want for your LLC. Thanks.